everyone, it's Tanya from Tanya Kraus Horsemanship, and you are joining me for the Tanya Training Diaries. Today what I wanted to share with you was just a simple process that I use for haltering. One of the things that I'm really talk about a lot is the fact that when we're doing the day-to-day things, that's where we're undoing or solidifying our training. And when we're time poor, we can use the simple day-to-day things that we do as an opportunity for training. So haltering is one of those moments where we can really use the whole haltering process and taking the halter off for a training opportunity. So I'm just going to ask this little fella to come up to be caught. I've already had him caught today, doing some ground exercises. So the first thing that I'm going to do is take the head piece, or the crown piece of the halter in my right hand and the knot, or just underneath the knot of the cheek piece, in my left hand, and I'm going to have the rein in a loop like this draped over my arm. So there's a few twists in that, but you can see that I don't have it looped around like this. If the horse took off, he's going to drag me. So what I want to make sure of is that I've got my, I put a little loop in my rein, and that goes over my arm like this. So I don't have the rein in my hand. It's not going to cause me any issues. And two, I can still grab it if there's an issue and I need to control the horse once I've got the halter on. But it's also not going to drag me if there's a real incident happening. So crown piece, cheek piece, and I'm going to go ahead and put the crown piece in my left hand, pass it underneath the horse's neck, and pick up the crown piece with my right hand like this. Now once I've got the halter like this, I'm going to go ahead and put a little pressure in it and ask that the horse turn his nose towards me. Then I'm going to open the nose piece and draw it up over his nose. Now if the horse pushes towards you, which some of them will, you'll just use your hand to ask them to stay in this position. I don't want him pushing towards me, and I don't want him pulling away from me. He should be doing exactly what he's doing. He's holding his head there himself. I'm not holding his head there. There's no pressure in the halter. So I'm going to go ahead and feed the through the eyelet, feed the rope through the eyelet, so I can go ahead and just tie the halter knot. And then once I've tied the knot, I'm going to go ahead and pick up my lead, and as you can see, he's still bent towards me, and if he goes to push on me or nip me like he just did, you saw my hand just comes down and says, no, I don't want you to do that. Now the last thing I'm going to do is actually put a little downward pressure in the halter and require that he puts his head down. And that repetitive action, if you do that every time you're haltering, you're teaching the horse to give to that halter. You know, so every time you put the halter on, you're teaching him to give to the halter. So I'll go ahead and lead him up here a little closer so I can unhalter him for you. He's a little short, I might need to tip that camera down. So I'm basically going to do the same thing when I'm taking the halter off. So I've got my loop rein, I've got it draped over my arm. I'm going to go ahead and ask him to tip his nose towards me. I'm going to undo the halter and I'm going to hold it the same way I was. So right hand on the crown piece, left hand on the left hand side of the halter, so the cheek piece or something like that. I'm going to ask him to bend towards me, and as I take the nose piece off, you'll see that most horses will want to duck their head and leave. So I've got it around his neck still, and I'm still going to ask him to bend towards me, and then I'm going to drop the piece and I'm going to walk away from him. So what that does is, not only am I teaching him again to give towards me and to be facing towards me, which is a good safety aspect, I also terminate the contact. So as soon as I take that halter off and leave him bent towards me, I terminate and go away from him. He doesn't walk away from me. So that's a you know, that's a respect-based thing. If I stand there and take the halter off and allow him to leave me, that's saying to him, you can terminate the contact. So then when you've got the halter on, or the, you know, the reins or anything like that, it's just planting that little seed in the horse of, oh, I get to walk away from you when I want to. So I always walk away from my horse never walks away from me. And like I say, because this is part of the haltering process, it's one of those repetitive actions that we're probably doing almost on a daily basis. And it's some real good training opportunities there, teaching the horse to be respectful and patient, teaching the horse to give at the crown piece and the nose piece of the halter, teaching the horse that you terminate contact, he doesn't terminate contact. And all those sorts of things. So, you know what, 5 minutes, and obviously it's taken a little bit longer because I've been actually explaining and demonstrating it. It wouldn't normally take 5 or 6 minutes to halter a horse in the paddock and unhalter it, obviously. So I hope you got something out of it. Thanks so much.